Top story is Title 42 comes to an end. Border officials saw record-breaking numbers of migrant encounters this past week. For more discussion, let's bring in today's political panel. With me today, Maura Gillespie, Bluestack Strategies founder and former advisor to Speaker John Boehner, as well as Matt Bennett, a Democratic strategist and Third Way co-founder. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to your mom in the studio here. Okay, so Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is making the rounds today. Let's play him.
We've added beds to immigration and customs enforcement in our detention facilities. We've increased our transportation resources, the number of flights, removal flights with our foreign partners. We're setting up regional processing centers now. It's extraordinary what we've done over the past 18 months or so.
Maura, some Republicans on the Hill think he should be impeached. What do you make of Mayorkas and things at the border right now?
I think members have every right to be angry with the failure to prepare for the situation. You know, the White House has had time. They appointed Vice President Kamala Harris to look over the border issues that we've been facing over a year ago, and not much has been done. And then they announced in January that they were going to set the date of May 11th to lift the COVID-era emergency policies. And we didn't plan for what was going to happen on May 11th. They have every right to be frustrated because we are seeing some serious surges at the border, but have been for some time in preparation for May 11th.
Matt, was dumping Title 42 an unforced error by the president and his team?
No, I don't think so. You know, it's a pandemic era law, and there were lots of Republicans calling for an end to the official pandemic, which the president declared, and so he couldn't keep it. We had to go back to business as usual at the border, which unfortunately is often kind of a mess. I will say the president has done a bunch of things that the people on the left of my party do not like, including sending 1,500 troops down to help with some administrative things. They're surging some judges and others to help with processing asylum claims. But no president has been able to manage the fundamental problem that Central and some parts of South America are a disaster, and people are desperate, and they're coming north no matter who the president is.
Okay, to 2024. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was out in battleground Iowa, the first state on the Republican side, at least. How did he do?
I think it's no surprise or coincidence that he ended up going to a barbecue joint just down the road from where former President Trump was supposed to speak. So I definitely think he's running.
Performance? Did you get to hear much of him?
I would say that DeSantis is speaking to one of Trump's biggest insecurities. He's talking about losing. And we've heard from senators like Cornyn and Todd Young that they're also echoing that same argument. And we saw it on Tuesday for the Trump town hall on CNN. That's definitely a weakness that he is aware of, because he, again, tried several times to say that he didn't actually lose. He is very worried about that narrative going into this election, for sure.
Okay, I want to look at some numbers from the Washington Post poll. On the president's job performance, it's down to 36%. And then the question, do you think Mr. Biden has the mental sharpness to serve effectively as president? Only 32%. Matt, what about those numbers?
They're not great, but look, that poll was a bit of an outlier. It's much lower in all kinds of ways, the reelect numbers, the favorability numbers for Biden, than most other polls, including a couple that have come out since. So I don't think it's a particularly accurate snapshot, but there is no question that this is going to be a tough road back for the president. People like me think that he can do it. Incumbency is an enormously powerful advantage for him, and he has a real record to run on. He passed a bunch of bills, most of them with bipartisan support. He's rallied the world against Russia in Ukraine, and he had a really good midterm. So I think things are going to start looking up.
One headache for him and his team, Hunter Biden, his son, the investigations on the Hill and also at the DOJ. What about that?
It's going to continue to be a narrative that the Republican Party is going to push. I would say, though, and I think this is something that many people at home are frustrated by, is the hypocrisy on both sides. You know, if we're going to uphold a law, let's uphold it no matter whose father, is president, and not cherry pick when you decide to enforce it. It's really important. I think people are frustrated by hypocrisy on both sides.
Matt, your thoughts?
Well, I think that's exactly right. And look, as Steve Doocy on this network pointed out, there really isn't any evidence tying the president to Hunter's conduct. Whether Hunter did things that are illegal or not, we're going to find out. But so far, there is zero evidence connecting that to the conduct of Joe Biden, either as vice president or as president. Also, the guy he's probably going to be running against, his son got $2 billion from the Saudis after they left the White House for reasons that remain kind of unclear. So I think the hypocrisy issue is a real one.
Do family concerns make people want new blood, new energy to run?
I mean, nepotism, we saw that on full display both in the Trump White House, but obviously with the Biden family and how entrenched they have been in politics as well. I will point out, though, that the Trump administration appointed several of his children to be advisors, and to my knowledge, no one in the Biden family is an advisor to the president in an official capacity. So, but yes, I think people are ready for something new. Again, the fact that we're having this conversation is because we have two candidates who are of an age to have adult children who have a history of careers and different things, whereas, you know, maybe we should be looking at someone who has kids that we won't even discuss because it's off limits.
Final word?
I couldn't agree more. On that level, I mean, Sasha and Malia Obama were in high school. They were not getting contracts from the Saudis or dealing with the Ukrainians. But I think this is the race we're going to have, and I think we have to watch out for hypocrisy. If people are casting stones at Hunter Biden, they need to look at the Trump family as well.
I'm old enough to remember the Bush twins. Yeah. Maura Gillespie, Matt Bennett, thank you so much.
Thank you.